So be prepared for some variations and some crooked conversations. But if your focus is bold.
Started with you just telling me some more about yourself.
Yeah. So I live down in Alabama, in Birmingham. I've been an Umphrey's fan for, like 10 years now. Yeah, just about. My first show was, I was a freshman in college. It was New Year's at the Tabernacle. So that was like, man, that was, 10 years ago, which is crazy. 9 or 10 years ago. But yeah, I live in Birmingham, big Umphrey's fan. I like, all the jam band stuff. I run a company down here called Repsy. We book bands online for a lot of private event stuff and Greek life. But we also do some public stuff. We're getting pushed more that direction, which is always fun. So I'm just a jam band loving lighting nerd who, likes to have a good time. I don't know.
Nice. Clay mentioned you recently got married.
Yes, I did. I got married about 6 weeks ago.
Nice. Congratulations.
It was, thank you so much. It was my very lucky man, for sure.
Nice. As Bayla says, don't fuck it up, right?
Yes, don't fuck it up. So far, so good. Good.
So let's start with like 2020. Talk about what that experience was like for you and what are some things that you did to keep yourself creative during the past 18 months?
Yeah, for sure. So I started my business, which is, a band booking business. Literally, and we went live, our software product went live. We've been operating for like a year, just about doing it the old school way. But our main product went live August of 2020. So like the worst time to launch a website where you can book bands. It was really, it was bad timing from that front, although it helped us in certain ways. But it was definitely a challenge. It was frustrating because all of, our market just evaporated overnight in front of our eyes. So it was a challenge. But, we really turned the focus to just, talking to artists, and we really had a lot of success. I think a lot of other people and agencies and that sort of thing where their foot was off the gas and they're just kind of, in hibernation mode. And we were able to make some good inroads with the artists, which is, half of our business during that time. So it helped us a lot in that regard, that I don't think we would have had as much success with that if it weren't for COVID. But the flip side is that, our revenue was completely gone because no one's booking any bands.
For sure.
And you got to keep your people focused and encouraged and motivated in this, really depressing time. And it was a challenge, but we got through it, and it's looking up now. But creatively though, we did a lot of lighting stuff, played a lot of guitar, did a lot of surfing and fishing. I made the best of it. It's actually kind of funny. I honestly had not touched the lighting stuff in a while, at least the stuff that I used for the Umphrey's gig. I was down in Florida where I met Clay, and down there I was kind of restricted to what I had down there, which was, what Clay mentioned in your episode with him. So completely different logic of how to do it. And so I hadn't touched, what we use for Umphrey's in a long time. And then that came along and kind of got me back into it. So it was fun. That was nice. And then after that, I actually started my own podcast about lighting. I interviewed Ben,
cool.
And some other Manny Newman of Pigeons, and some other guys. And honestly, I filmed a bunch of episodes, and then I moved, and then I got married, and I'm just now getting back into town pretty much. And I haven't uploaded anything, but it's coming very soon. So I'm working on that this week. But
That's very cool.
So that was, yeah, thank you. So from a creative standpoint, we did that. It's called the Luman Show.
Nice.
A little plug there. Sorry, shameless. But that's, yeah, from a creative standpoint, that's kind of where the creative juices went.
That's very cool. Keeping yourself busy for sure.
Yeah, you got to.
Definitely.
For sure.
So where does your passion for lighting begin?
So in college, so we'll back up to high school. In high school, I played with my friends were like all musicians, or most of them were, and they're all like way better than me, like insanely good, talented. Like I thought I was okay, and then I show up to my buddy Joe's house one day, and I'm like, wow, this is insane. Like, so I played. We would go hang out at Joe's house, and his mom didn't mind the noise. And shout out to Fran, and she would let us play till like pretty late. And I went to college, and all of a sudden that went away because I went to a college where they didn't go. We all kind of went different ways, and I missed that. And so I had started this music club, and just from it kind of took off. Like a lot of people were into it. I mean, the criteria was pretty broad. Like, are you into music? Most people are, and you want to eat burgers, once a month and listen to an album on a deck. Yeah, sure. So it kind of started with there, and then it took off, and we ended up, a fraternity had been kicked off campus, and they were offering it to the clubs. They said, make your case. And we had acquired some equipment because the school would give us money, right? They give us like $5,000 for like a year starting out. And then we won the bid on the house, like the competition, or the debate rather, for the house. So they gave it to us. We had a bunch of members, and we had equipment that we would provide, we're renting out to people for parties and stuff. And that had to go somewhere, and it was becoming a problem because it was getting expensive, and it's like a lot of, so they gave us the house, like lock it up and everything. And they gave us a lot of money. They gave us like $10,000 a semester one year. And so we had some excess money. So we had 20 grand for the whole year, right? We bought this insane PA and like a drum kit, basically anything for like, if you were interested in an instrument, you could walk in there, talk to one of, the people who were in charge of running the room, and like go mess around with that instrument. And we had like a Hammond organ that we found on Craigslist. We had all this cool stuff. But the room was kind of lame, right? So we needed some lights. So
gotta set the mood.
Yeah. So we bought these lights, and we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We bought these stupid old Martin. This is the original Martin Mac. And for all the lighting nerds out there, it's a very old light. It has one arm on the yoke. Like most lights you see hanging have two arms. This had one. And none of them worked. Every single one of them had like a problem. But we ran out of money after that. And I was like, dang, man, none of us realized we needed like software or something to control these things. And if we had bought like par cans, we could have done what Clay was talking about with the little fader box, which is, not expensive. It's like 100, get one for like $50. But the lights we bought had all these features on it that we couldn't use with the board. So we had to get the software. So I like spent a little bit of my own money and bought the software. And it was kind of fun. Never really worked well, but it was, it was a good way to like kill time and make the room green or whatever for the jam session. But then I graduated, and then I got a job, and I had like very cheap rent, and I bought these lights because I had the software, and I was building my own jam room in my basement, and so I bought some lights, and I knew a little bit more this time, so I bought some better stuff, not necessarily more expensive, but like newer, cheap stuff that actually worked, and kind of started building this jam room in my basement, and I kind of got hooked. And all of a sudden I'm buying bigger, better lights, and I'm doing gigs, and it kind of just went from there. And then I'm learning software that's like way out of my league and all that stuff. But I always joked, I was like, for years I was learning like the software that we use for Umphrey's, and was like, this really, I'm not doing lighting. I'm not a lighting designer. Like, why am I spending my like free time doing this? Because it's fun and I like it a lot. But I was like, it was kind of like a joke to myself of like, one day this will come in handy, and it eventually did. So I'm glad I did it.
So Clay mentioned something like you got Umphrey's to play one of your college parties or something.
Oh yeah. Yep. So when I saw Umphrey's, it was New Year's going from 2011 to 2012 at Tabernacle.
What a hell of a first show, right?
I mean, come on, man. It's still like, I think, I still go back and listen to it all the time. And I remember I was kind of like, my friends were way more into Umphrey's than I was up until that point. But all of them had at least been to a show. I'd never been to a show before, and I would listen to them. I like to listen to them like when I worked out, because it's like aggressive, like high-paced stuff, but that was kind of it. And I wouldn't throw it on Umphrey's in the car a whole bunch, And then I went to that show, and I was like, oh, now I get it. And so I tried to get involved as much as I could with music, and there was the college activities council. Book, your like homecoming concert by the school, or your, anything musical, or like any, entertainment stuff that for the students. And I wasn't in charge or anything, but I, motivated the people who were to get Umphrey's, and it ended up working out. And I remember, I remember they're like, man, we got an email, like it was like kind of last minute, like 3 weeks before the gig. Like, I don't know, they're saying Brendan has a wedding the night before in California, and it's not looking too good. And I don't know, I think someone said, it might have been me, I can't remember, but someone else said, just give him more money. We gave him like $5 extra to get Brendan there. I remember Brendan showed up like right before sound check too. Like they had to like rent a van and go get him. It was crazy. But yeah, Umphrey's came to my school. It was an awesome time. They absolutely shredded. It was I was a little starstruck. I think a lot of us were, but they were super nice, and it was just a great time. They really were super nice, as you know, and just like, what do you want to hear, man? Like, I was like, I don't know, hit me with a much obliged, they're just
hate when they ask me that cool question. I'm like, I don't know, I'm so on the spot right now. Everything.
Yeah, a much obliged in a booth, and then I don't know, let it ride from there.
Is there recording of this?
Yeah, it's on Nugs. It's Farmville, Virginia. That's where the town I went next to my college where I went to school.
Okay.
I can't remember the date. Hold on, I'm gonna go find it. I think I have it saved on my Nugs app.
That's cool. I have to listen to this now.
I'll shoot that. I'll shoot you that offline. But
okay.
Yeah, it's Farmville, Virginia. I want to say it's 2015.
Okay.
2015. That sounds right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's so awesome. He told me that, and I was like, really?
Yeah, it was really cool. And they shred it too. They laid it down.
Of course.
I remember Jake was like, I hope no one shows up. I hope it's like 12 people. Like, hope it's like super into it. We haven't played a college in forever, man. So yeah, that was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me some more about the first time you and Clay met. Of course, he told the story from his perspective. So let's hear it from your side.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was pretty spot on. I remember it was, okay, so full disclosure, it was the 4th of July, like the 3rd of July. And I was down there with she was my girlfriend at the time, she's my wife now. And we've been drinking. It was like 6:30. And we're on the beach and we're blasting fish from the house. And you can hear on the beach. But there's like no one around, so it's a desolate beach. And up walks this, we're like hauling the chairs up to go upstairs to like take showers and eat dinner. And this guy walks up wearing a Grateful Dead t-shirt on. He's like, you listen to Fish, like, is this, Moo Dance or whatever? And, was like, yeah, man, like, hey, we're gonna go eat, like, come back in 2 hours, we'll hang out. And we go upstairs to shower and eat. I'm like, Rachel, did I invite some stranger we just met on the beach into our house? She's like, yeah, you did. Like, I was like, I was like, I'm gonna regret this, I know. And it was like, he won't show up. And then, like, sure enough, he shows up, and it turns out he's like the nicest guy in the world. And you know, he's cool as shit, and we're in the same things. And he loved the lights. And you know, after that, we just kept in touch. Like, I don't really know anyone else who's into lighting around me, or, you know, my age or my town or anything. There's a few older guys around here, but, like, you know, they're not texting me and stuff. So it was fun to have someone who kind of like hopped on that journey with me. And he would send me stuff, I'd send him stuff, and introduce him to some things, and see him get excited. It was really fun. And I never thought it would end up like where it has, but you know, it's been fun. Clay's like the nicest, most humblest dude I've ever met. So it was he made it easy to be a friend, for sure.
Definitely. I agree. So then talk about Clay calling you and telling you, hey, I need your help on this thing with Umphrey's.
Yeah. So Clay, you know, he was doing these gigs with Keith, and it was so funny. It was like, you know, I guess COVID happened, really, and that's when Keith started doing the streaming thing. And I forget exactly how Keith and Clay met, but he's like, I'm hanging out at Darius Rucker's house. I'm like, what's going on? Like, you're doing lights for Darius Rucker? Like, what? This is so funny. Like, it's incredible. And then he called me up at the Umphrey's gig, and I swear, and he texted me. I remember being at work and thinking, like I don't know. I was like, I thought for, I think, a day or two, and like, do I do this or not? And then the other thing that crazy that Clay didn't talk about was, like, Kevin never knew I was coming until the day of. Like, they thought Clay was going to show up with his rig and do the thing. They didn't know that I was going to show up with a rig. And I was like, look, this is, first we're going to do it with Clay's rig and maybe my rig, but it really wasn't going to work well. I was like, this is Umphrey's, it's a stream, it's 3 nights. Like, there is, not only is it's not going to look the best, there's going to be a technical problem. Like, Clay runs the same stuff I run. And when you run it for days on end, like, you're going to have problems. It's going to be a crash, and it's going to look like garbage for like a few minutes. And if that happens, on my watch, I don't know what I would do. So I rented, because of COVID, you could rent like high-end gear at a steep discount. And so we rented like over 40, if you were to buy it all outright, I think it was like over $40,000 or $50,000 of stuff.
Wow.
But we rented it for 3 nights, and it was super cheap to rent it. So that wasn't a problem. I was like, if we're going to do this, let's do it right. But Umphrey's never knew any of this. So we show up, because Clay's whole thing was, we're not going to tell them you're coming, because if we tell them you're coming, they'll say no, because they're really COVID conscious with the number of people inside and everything. So Clay put him on the spot, but it worked out. I mean, I remember Kevin walked out in the garage, and I had no idea who Kevin was at that point. He's like, "You got a negative COVID test?" And I was like, "Right here." He's like, "All right, come on." And yeah, we went and did the thing. But to answer your question, it was crazy. I mean, I actually really hesitated on whether to say yes or not, just for a number of reasons. I was like, can I do this? And we had to overcome a lot of challenges. Like, we still use Clay's lights in addition to the rig I rented, and they were kind of critical in certain areas. But some of them were, they're like some Chinese versions, and they didn't want to talk to our console, so we had to like build, what we call a fixture profile, which is like a identity for this light, which I had done before, but not in this kind of circumstance. So that was a little nerve wracking, but we got it done. And we had to kind of adjust on the fly a lot to a lot of things.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was awesome.
What was your biggest takeaway from that whole experience?
I think my biggest takeaway from that experience was when life comes to knocking, like open the door and don't waste opportunity because, go step outside your comfort zone, I guess is what I'm saying. As long as you're prepared, go for it. If it's something that really fires you up and gets you excited, don't say no because of self-doubt or whatever. Just go do it. And if you really give it your all, it'll work out. And it worked out for us, and it was super rewarding. And it was definitely a little trophy I'll keep in my mental bookshelf forever.
For sure. I mean, what an awesome piece of your Umphrey's fanhood too, to get that opportunity.
Oh yeah, definitely. Also, takeaway advice, like when you're if you're with a new operation doing some stuff that they're trusting you to do, just like keep your head down and your mouth shut and like do the thing. That was another thing. I was like, man, I'm a big Umphrey's fan. I wasn't as starstruck as I was the first time I met him like 7 years ago back in college, but I wanted, you had to suppress like the fanboy in you, like, just do your job and trust the other way. But
cool.
They were super nice. Yeah. That's what really bummed me out, was because after the first night, it was chill and we were all hanging out, and that's when you kind of got to like, shoot the breeze with everybody. And, that we had a little bit of that on Friday night. And then Saturday night, I felt like it was going to be like the night where, like, if there was going to be hanging out, that would be the night. Just because everything was set, and, we'd done the rehearsals and had a good first night, and there was no tear down, which is going to be on Sunday, right after the stream ended. And then the stream went down on Saturday night, right? And then so that really just put the wind at everybody's sails, and everyone was really bummed and kind of got out of there when it was over. But I guess we can talk about that. We talked about it going down. I know you and Clay talked about it. And Clay nailed it. I mean, every like conversation was oriented towards the fans and how they're feeling and how this sucked and how bummed they were, but it was, it wasn't their fault. And when I came back the next day, they had triple backups and a new primary for the problem what had occurred the night before. So there was no way, and that was not a cheap thing to do. Like, they spent a lot of money to make sure, hell or high water, that stream was going to go off without a hitch that night. And it did. So, hats off to the team there. They did a great job.
For sure. The whole situation was handled really well, even when it all went down. And I know the guys just kept playing and going. And I think the whole situation was handled perfectly, actually, as perfect as you can handle something like that in the moment.
Yeah. I think they should release the hour of when the stream was down, and they're just like the band was sitting in the jam room, like, shooting the shit, like playing a riff every now and again, telling funny stories. Like that'd be a good bonus content on like the next Hall of Fame, disc set or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. That would be fun. So tell me, what about like the Umphrey's lighting inspires you?
Yeah. So, let me think. It's so funny. I think that I saw Umphrey's before I saw Fish. I was really into all these bands, but it just never worked out where I could see them in high school or anything. Fish actually played in my hometown the first day of college, which was in Virginia. So my favorite band, my hometown, is so poetic. but I've caught up since. We've been to as many as possible since then. But Umphrey's is probably the first rock show I saw where the lights were so, I don't know, they're badass for for the layman's terms. They're really great. I always, when I really got into lighting and started doing the research, Kuroda Fish, obviously, and Waful of Umphrey's were the kind of two guys. I'd seen those two bands the most. There's not a lot of bands where the fans are going home, talking about the lights and using the lighting designer's name. Like, no one's going to a Rolling Stones concert and going home and talking about the light designer's name. But they are at Fish and they are at Umphrey's. And they are the jam bands, with Dopapod and Spafford with Matt and and Pigeons with Manny and now Ben with Umphrey's. So like you go to Umphrey's post and on Instagram and like the third comment is like, Ben Factor's killing it with the lights. Like that doesn't happen to the bands. So there's a lot of content with them out there and interviews and stuff. So it was probably accessibility to them via the internet and podcasts and YouTube videos and interviews and that sort of thing, and things like Luke Stratton's podcast, The Light Side. Yeah. Sorry, it was a little long-winded answer, but
no, that's okay. Do you know I interviewed Ben too? Did you listen to that?
Okay, I was looking for that today. I could not find it.
It's like it's like 109 or something. And I interviewed Waful too.
Nice. Okay, I'll definitely check out both of those.
Yeah, Waffles is a while ago, a couple summer camps ago, but yeah, it's in there. It was a great time. It was one of my first in-person interviews, so it was nice. It was really cool. Yeah, it was really great.
Where did y'all do it?
Summer camp one year.
Oh, you did it at summer camp. Okay, nice.
Yeah, I think it was 2019. So it was like right before he, wound up leaving, and we just went backstage and did the interview. And it's cool because there's Joel will come in and be like, hey, like in the middle of the interview and stuff. So it's a really great one. It was a lot of fun.
I love it. I think I may have heard a part of that. But I was looking for the Ben one today. I'll definitely go find it. Ben's like the nicest guy too.
He really is. He is such a sweetheart, and he's such a perfect fit for Umphrey's. And I love the freshness that he brings to everything. I love the rainbow colors that he uses, and the way that he incorporates the blues and everything. So I would love to know what were some of your favorite things of Waful's lighting style, and what are some of your favorite things of Ben Factor's lighting style?
Yeah, great question. So, Waful loved the cone gobo. Everyone knows the cone gobo, right? The circle with the hole in it. It's just to quote Waful himself, it's a sexy look. A lot of uses of that. I like the big punchy Mac 3s, which are the lights they used to run. I love that big front lens on those theater environments. Just looks so awesome. His use of color wipes is fantastic. He did a lot of good stuff. And Ben's killer. Ben does a great job with the color wipes too. I love the sucker for color wipes. But Ben's using the new fixtures that he's using. I didn't see him in Birmingham, but he's using Mega Points. He has been lately. I like those a lot. Ben just nails timings too. He always lands in the right spot, and he does it. I like to do it on 5 seconds. He's he'll do it off on 2.5, 5, and 10. And you're like, where, and then he'll still land it. It's really, really cool. He uses the battens, the bars that spin around. I don't like those traditionally, but that's only because I didn't see Ben Factor doing it, because he does a great job with those. I like him a lot. He does a really good job with the pixelated stuff, and just the directional choices he makes with those are really nice.
I agree. I love how he's finding inspiration from so many other places. I don't know if you read any of the things that he posted, where he talked about being inspired by 85 AC/DC tour lighting and, you know, stuff that was before he was even born. And he's using that inspiration and bringing it to Umphrey's. I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben is super dynamic. Like Waful, you know, nothing against Waful, he's fantastic, but he kind of stuck to the same formula for a long time. And Ben, I've been to both the drive-ins in Atlanta, and I saw him in Birmingham last Sunday. I think every single time there's a different lighting setup and it looks sick. And then I'll go on Instagram and the next night or the night before was a different setup. So he's really, you know, able to provide these different looks and different scenarios. He's not afraid to try new things. And, you know, it's and 99% of the time it lands. It's pretty remarkable.
It is. And it's so cool that he's young. So we get to watch his career unfold before our eyes.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, it'll be a fun thing to watch for sure.
Definitely.
I'll definitely be there.
Me too.
Good.
So what are some ways that Umphrey's inspires you personally and professionally?
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, Umphrey's is, you know, they could be total jerks to get away with it, but they're like the nicest guys. You know, it's a good mixed bag of different kinds of people, extroverted, introverted in that group, and they all you know, come together for a common goal, and their passion, you know, passion being a big part of that, and they go out and crush it. And you know, in a way, I don't know, I feel like, you know, if you didn't have, you know, if there's more room in the world, I feel like Umphrey's would be playing stadiums. You know, I feel like if there wasn't a widespread panic to go to or fish to go to, you know, they would be bigger than they are. And I think that's, you know, it's just like their place in time. And that's kind of, you know, a little bit, you know, deep down, probably never admit it, but I think they do. And with, you know, unapologetically, and they have a good time. And, you know, I think there's a lot to learn from that.
Definitely. I agree. I take a lot of inspiration from their work ethic and, you know, how they try to balance work and family. And, you know, so I take a lot of that personally too.
Definitely. Yeah. Work, family, and fun. They got the balance going on.
For sure. So what is something that you like about being a part of the Umphrey's community?
You know, I've met a lot of good people. You know, it's kind of like the jam band community as a whole. You know, there's jerks everywhere, but
yeah,
there's a lot of good people I run into at these things. And you know, it's small enough where someone like me can still like weasel my way in there somehow and, you know, run lights for a stream or something, you know? And it's like this little secret that the community has, you know?
Yeah.
But it's fun. Like it's crazy to see, you know, even when the difference between you know, when I first saw them and today, they've grown a lot. Like my parents went to Umphrey's last Sunday.
That's awesome.
You know, they wouldn't have gone, you know, 5-6 years ago.
Did they enjoy it?
Yeah, they had a great time.
Nice. That's awesome. I
like,
love it when people
not only my
take their
parents, like I didn't even take them. They were just like, oh yeah, we're going tonight too with our friends. They went with a bunch of their friends. It was great.
That's so awesome. Hell yeah, parents. Shout out to your parents.
Yeah,
that's rad.
They're cool. They're cool. They have good taste in music for sure.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
So what would you choose as an Umphrey's cover that they haven't done yet?
Oh man, that's a good question. Put me on the spot here, Sarah. I think oh man. I mean, it'd be fun to see some like King Crimson covers or something.
For sure.
Just because, like, you know, I remember when I first heard King Crimson, I was like, wait, like this band sounds like Umphrey. It's like, no, Umphrey sounds like King Crimson.
They came first and then this.
Yeah. For the record, I definitely like Umphrey's more, but I definitely love King Crimson too. But I think I love when they do like these Southern rock anthem songs, like anything by ZZ Top, when they do like Cheap Sunglasses or something. It's always fun to hear that. So in that kind of vein, like what is it? Bad Companies, like feel like making love. I think that'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
Have Chris sing it and just Jake ripping. That'd be a fun one. I think there's some cool instrumental parts of that song. I don't know, any by Bad Company would be fun.
For sure. I listen to the classic rock radio station all the time, and I'm like, this song, that song.
I love it. Yeah, I heard you talking about like the Legacy Acts with Clay and going to see, the older guys that may not be around much longer.
Yeah.
I think that's yeah. I went and saw Kiss. And with that same mindset, like, how many more years do I have to go see Kiss? Probably not, who knows? This could be the last time they ever come to my town. It was freaking awesome. Like, I felt like they were 18 still. Awesome. They did everything. So much energy, and it was, the production was insane. I was like, they still got it.
That's incredible. Probably even more so because of all the things that we have now for theatrics. It's probably way more than what you would have gotten in the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, you think, but not. I don't know, man. They've always had Kiss has always had these huge hydraulic mechanisms and pyrotechnics. I mean, pyrotechnics have been around since then, and the actual lighting fixtures they were using were nice modern fixtures, but they're a few generations old. Like Umphrey's is using more newer stuff than they were, and yet it was just this grand kind of old school, like what Ben was talking about by being inspired by, was an AC/DC rig in the 70s, in the 80s or something.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of this big, lots of par cans and like red and like overhanging structure and like stuff moving around and fire. That's kind of always been their thing. But it was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
I bet. I've never seen Kiss, and I was kind of like on the fence because I'm not the biggest Kiss fan, but I mean,
neither am I.
If it's rad, I could get down.
You should definitely, if it's convenient for you, I'll recommend going. Definitely worth the price of admission for sure. Sweet. And the people watching, it was just great.
Oh, I bet their fans are like next level. So, I mean, I can only imagine seeing everybody dressed up and their own gear and all that. So, yeah.
You think umphreaks are crazy? And
the Kiss Army is next level.
Oh yeah, Kiss Army. That's right. That's what they call themselves.
Definitely. So, I'm going to put you on the spot again.
All right, hit me.
All right, describe Umphrey's in 3 words.
Chaos. Man, all the words I'm thinking of are like actual song names. Chaos. Risk.
Yeah.
Like they take risks. And cohesiveness.
Ooh, nice.
I feel like those are pretty decent, right?
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. There you go.
Did you give me your show count? I don't know if you said when we were talking earlier. How many shows have you been to?
Oh man, I don't know, 20 something. I've been to I don't know. I really lost count. At least 20, 25. I mean, damn, I've seen Umphrey's more than any of the band this year. So, or at least during COVID. So I got 3 nights when I did the stream, even though I watched it all through the monitor like this big in another room.
Still counts.
Challenge. Yeah. I think it does too. And then I had 4 nights at the drive-ins. So I mean, and Umphrey's just toured so damn much. Oh, and then I saw them last week. So that's 8 times during COVID, right? And that's, thank you, Umphrey's, for getting out there and doing things to the drive-in and the streams to keep us entertained. Because I haven't seen any other band 8 times since COVID. So I mean, and they would always, lived in college. I lived in up near Richmond, and so they would play like the National, which is a really cool theater in Richmond, like all the time, at least once a year. Had them at our school, New Year's runs, lots of shows. Asheville, every time they go to Asheville, I'm there. Anytime they're in the South or the East Coast area, there's a good chance you'll see me there. So I've been to a lot. I don't know, it's a lot.
Nice.
How about you? I'm sure you've been to a lot too. Are you one of those who keeps count?
Let me see. I just saw them like a month ago, and it was my 77th show.
Nice.
So not too shabby for a mom of 3.
No, that's impressive. Wow, good for you.
Summer camp helps. Summer camp, New Year's runs, stuff like that, really help. When you're there and you catch a bunch of stuff. So that's mostly the reason why I've been to a lot of summer camps and stuff like that. But still counts.
And they're accessible. Like an Umphrey's ticket, depending on the ticket vendor, the fees and stuff. I mean, it's never like really more than like $50. Mm-hmm. Whereas Fish, depending on the venue and where you want to sit, could be hundreds of dollars. And then that's before you even get to like scalpers in the secondary market. And then, it's some amphitheater an hour outside of a city, 4 hours from you. It gets expensive. Where Umphrey's is like, it's just accessible. You pay $50, you go to your local, theater or amphitheater and, have a rock show. And they're always around. Like they play within 2 hours of me like 6 times a year. It's great.
That's how I feel too, being up here in the Northeast. I mean, I can go to Cleveland, I can go to Pittsburgh, I can go to Syracuse, I'm kind of in this nice little hub. And if I want to drive a little bit further, it's not really super far to Michigan. It's like 7 hours, which isn't terrible. So it's not, and we're spoiled up here too. They come up here and hit, a nice radius. So
well, the music scene up there is nice. Where are you?
I'm right outside Buffalo.
Okay. Do you ever go to like the Capitol Theater?
Capitol Theater's on the other side of the state.
Okay.
But I'm going there for Humble. I'm going there for Humble this year. So that'll be my first time at the Capitol Theater. Well,
there's like this is one of the parts of the country there's like a good music and jam band scene. Like here in Birmingham, when Umphrey's comes, it sells out. But, you could have the right band in the right place on the right night here, and, the crowd isn't really there. But that same band goes to Red Rocks in Denver or the Capitol Theater, and it's been sold out for months. So the community there, I feel like, is strong for sure, and that helps.
Definitely. So what other shows you got on deck for this rest of the summer?
So I did Fish in Arkansas through Atlanta. And took my dad to Friday night in Birmingham. For the first time in a long time, we've seen them, so it was a lot of fun. And then at Umphrey's on Sunday. I'm going to see Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan in Nashville in 2 weeks. Shows. I don't have a ton of shows. I have some local gigs that I'm going to see. Nice. But I tell you the truth, I just got married and just moved, and I'm tired.
Yeah.
I did like 9 concerts the past month. I'm tired. It's time to have some chill weekends.
For sure.
Before football season, But
yeah, you're right. You're right.
How about you?
The heart of it, in the heart of football country down there.
Oh yeah. We love it. Down here.
Yeah.
It's a good time. What about you? Do you have any shows coming up?
Actually, last minute, I'm heading to summer camp this weekend. So
nice. Is that this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It escalated really quickly, like yesterday afternoon. And now I'm leaving Friday morning. So
What did your crew call and say, hey, we're going, come on, or what happened?
well, actually, Keith, I had applied for press for summer camp months ago, and they denied me because so many people apply. You know, you get like fans that are just like, oh, I have a camera, I'm a photographer, so give me a pass.
Yeah.
And I was kind of bummed about it, but I was like, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. And so I was just talking to Keith yesterday about some other stuff, and he's like, they denied your pass. Well, let me make a phone call for you. And so, yeah, I'm going.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Keith. Keith's super funny. Keith is a nice guy.
He really is.
He's like intimidating at first, but he's just a funny goofball at the end of the day.
He's just like I agree. Like the first time I met him, I don't want to say I was nervous and maybe not even intimidated, but definitely like, I don't know what it was, but he makes you feel such at ease, you know. He's just always cracking jokes, and you know, he's just so funny and always willing to help, and he's such a supporter of my show and all the things that I've been doing. So just awesome dude to know for sure.
For sure. I pulled up to Chris's house for the Nashville stream, and like there's this dude in a full, like Jack's dude with a mohawk and like a full purple tie-dye, like sweat, you know, hoodie on with sweatpants. I was like, who is this guy? But yeah, it turns out it's just Keith.
Just Keith.
That's Keith. Super cool
And
guy.
actually, it's really funny because I was like wondering, I was going to Umphrey's at the end of June, and I hadn't like been outside of my house really, you know, I hadn't done anything, and I hadn't hugged anybody outside of my family. So it's like, I wonder who the first person is that I'm going to hug, you know, once I go back out. And it was Keith, and he gave the best hug in the world. So it was definitely a perfect choice.
Yeah. I love it. Fantastic. Well, I hope you have fun at summer camp. I think that's, I forgot that was going on this weekend. That's awesome.
Yeah, I forgot too. And then I started seeing like, oh yeah, this weekend. I'm like, oh yeah, that's coming. And then now I guess I'm going to be there. So awesome.
Oh yeah. Is it,
haven't
are they
even
doing
started
like
packing yet, but
are they doing it full bore?
yeah, they did cancel the late nights in the Red Barn. They moved them all to the VIP tent because it's like more outdoors. Yeah. So that so far, I think there's maybe like 2 bands they announced today that said that they couldn't come last minute, but that's really all that's changed. Everything else is full steam ahead.
Nice. I always wish they'd like I'd pay another $100 to have 40% less people there. You know?
For sure. Well, I think they actually added more camping than past years.
That's good.
I'm thinking it's in an attempt to spread people out and not to sell more tickets.
Let's hope so.
We shall see when we get there, but I looked at the map last night and they did add some more camping. So
nice.
I got a hotel though. I don't want to sleep in a tent this week.
See, you're smart. Yeah. I went there once and like we were just, I don't know, we got through the gate and they threw us on this golf cart and like, all right, here's your camping spot. And I didn't realize it was next to the late night EDM tent. So like my air mattress just like till like 5 a.m. every morning, just like boons, boons, boons. Got no sleep for 3 days.
No sleep. I know, that's what I'm happy about. This is the first time I've stayed in a hotel, and I'm happy about it, to have the bed and a shower and your own flushing toilet.
Yeah, I think I'm done with the camping.
Yeah, at least for right now. I feel a little better not camping.
Yeah.
Just until things maybe die down a little.
Sure, for sure.
Summer camp is gross enough by itself.
You can't be in a bed in the shower. Yeah, it gets dirty up there.
Yeah, it does. I've told some of my friends, I'm like, listen, I've seen porta potties on a Saturday night at a music festival. I don't know how scary COVID really is.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been to a fish festival, like those are next.
Well, I tell you, I went to Magnaball, and they sprayed down, the fire department had their little setup next to the porta potties, and they'd spray down the toilets porta potties every night. So every night, like not every night, like every couple of hours. So they were clean as a whistle the whole time. It was great.
That's incredible.
It's like they should do this at every festival. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, they probably
don't
will
do that
start doing
summertime.
it now.
I would hope so. Well, I think it's because it was at Watkins Glen, and they already set up for like the NASCAR camping. So they were kind of, they already had a system in place.
Yeah, I was there for Super Bowl when they did that in like 2011, nice. I think that was. Yeah. Because Watkins Glen is not super far from me. So
must be nice.
Yeah.
Did you have tickets to Curveball?
I did not, but one of my really good friends did. And I remember being at her house like the Thursday before or whatever, and they were getting their coolers packed and they were doing all this stuff and they were getting ready to leave, and they were there. Like they had already been there. They had set their stuff up. And then that's when they said like, everybody's got to go. And
yeah, my best friend went, and I bailed on him the night before. I was like, dude, I can't swing at work with it the week after. I just can't do it. And I was really like bummed I wasn't gonna go. And he drove there, and he drove like 13 hours, and then they canceled it. Shout out to Gardner. But I think he went to that festival that happened, that kind of like someone had a farm and like held a festival that was, an unlicensed festival, we'll call it. He went to that, but I felt bad for my buddy.
That's tough, especially driving that far. And then you're like, all right, I'm here. I'm going to chill, relax. No, that's not happening. That's awful.
He was like an exit away.
Ooh. Well, good. I mean, good on your part though, that you're like, nah, I'm not going. And
I got lucky.
For sure. All right. So is there anything else that you wanted to chat about?
I would just say, not really. I think we've covered the bases. It's been a lot of fun. If you need to book a band, do it through www.repsy.com.
Who are some of the bands that you're repping right now? I don't think you said any.
Actually, I have Umphrey's. Umphrey's is on there. So if you want to book Umphrey's for your homecoming concert, your college or something, if you're baller enough to do that, we're the people to get it done for you. But we kind of run the gamut from up and comers, local guys, up to Umphrey's. We got a lot of DJs on there right now. Let me pull up our current roster. I'll give you the highlights. A lot of bands from your neck of the woods. Kindle Street Company. We have Hippie Sabotage. Winston Ramble is the guy we like a lot. Let's see, if you're down near in the south, you got Grass is Dead, great Grateful Dead cover bands. But we have like over 100 artists now.
Wow.
Everybody from wedding bands to Umphrey's McGee. So if you need a band for your fraternity party or a birthday party or a wedding or a venue, I was looking to book some bands. Hit us up.
That's awesome. Congratulations on having that many bands. That's really badass.
Thank you. Well, I owe a lot of that to our team, but it's a lot of that's due to COVID. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of these guys, no one was really looking after them during COVID. We were able to get our foot in some doors that I don't think otherwise would have been closed.
Yeah. Like you were saying with the equipment too, that unless it was COVID time, there probably wouldn't have been stuff to rent, or it would have been more, or
nor would it have been a stream in Chris's basement.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a necessity. Yeah.
So
silver linings to the things that have been happening.
Making lemonade out of lemons.
100%.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. right. Well, that's everything I have. If there's nothing else you
Cool.
want to shout out or promote or whatever, you got the floor.
Go buy Umphrey's hot sauce.
Yes, do that. Buy it. It's so good. I can't stop talking about it.
It's really good. The mango one is really tasty. I think it's the rest. That was really good. And I think the garlic habanero, that stuff's amazing.
That's my favorite. I'm so obsessed.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
have a problem.
But go buy Nashville Heat Hot Sauces. Check out the Luman Show podcast coming soon. Thanks, Sarah, for having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, this has been great. I'm really happy that we got to meet each other.
Hopefully, I'll see you at a show sometime soon.
Yeah,
likewise for sure. Well, have fun at summer camp, and next time you're at a Umphrey show, let me know. I might be there.
All right, I will do.
All right, take care.
Take care. Have a great rest of your night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.